again.
Welcome back to the Reverbium podcast once again. My name is Jimmy.
And I'm Sean.
Thank you very much. We're getting this down. This week we have a double whammy.
So we haven't failed in a while. It's amazing.
Exactly. This week we have a double
it's like
whammy.
We know what we're doing now.
We have a double whammy of topics.
What have we got, Jimmy?
A double fucking whammy. Yeah, we've got fucking a lot. There's a lot to talk about. Our main topics this week.
We have news for once? Jesus Christ. What prepare for that?
And guess what? It's not wrestling news. There's one bit, but it's not that much.
No, leave it out.
It's wrestling. It's wrestling news, but it has nothing to do with like the people involved. Well, anyway, we'll get to it. You'll see.
Okay, just get on with it.
Yeah. Our main topics this week are a discussion on Lil Nas X's Montero "Call Me by Your Name" song that has been. I don't want to say it's controversial because for me it's not, but for a lot of people, I guess it is.
It's caused outrage
for dumb reasons, but we'll get to that. And also the Suicide Squad trailer that came out. So yeah, we'll start off with a bit of, I think, gaming news. Have we got any gaming news? Have you got any gaming news?
Yeah, I've got a little bit.
Go right
just
ahead,
that finally Xbox have made the decision that they should have made about 10 years ago, if not more, that you no longer need to have a paid version of. It's not Xbox Live anymore because we spoke about it last week. I've already forgotten the name, but effectively you don't need to pay for online with Xbox to play free-to-play online games. So like your Fortnite, your Warzone, your Apex Legends, you no longer need a paid subscription to be able to play those multiplayer games.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know why it took them so long to do this. It should never have.
Both Microsoft and Sony have their own issues. Sony's had a problem with backwards compatibility. Xbox has had a problem with everything else.
Everything. But yeah, they're finally doing it, thankfully. It took a while, but now that I no longer have an Xbox, well, I do, but no longer use it, they've now done something good. Thank you, Microsoft. We love you. That's why I fucking moved.
Well, next up we have a big long-awaited update for Cyberpunk, the 1.2 update. It was delayed after the whole Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red got hacked and their source code or something was sold on the black market or just some crazy shit. But yeah, the update is huge. Like, I'm not going to list off the patch notes, but because we'd be here for an hour just on those patch notes, but they're available on their website and everything. And they fix a lot of things, but I have seen online that it's very divisive. People are saying it's not really done much. As someone who owns the game and had an issue where when I was going to do side gigs, it was giving me I was getting calls for like gigs that I'd already completed, so the game wouldn't progress, so I couldn't play. That was the one thing I was waiting for them to fix. It did not fix that. So I'm at the point where I'm personally probably just going to wait for the PS5 version to come, and then I'll just play it then, because it will be a free update, which is nice. But yeah, big update. If you own the game and had problems before, check if you can play it now. Maybe they'll, it'll be something that good for you. Who knows? And the last bit of gaming news I think I have is to do with the PlayStation Plus games for April, which have been announced, and I have mixed feelings on. I will get to them. There's Oddworld's Soulstorm, which I believe is either a remake or a sequel to past Oddworld games. There's an Oddworld game called New and Tasty, I believe, and there's a few others. But yeah, that looks okay. I mean, it's not for everyone. It's a bit of like a platformer action adventure type game. So there is that. We also have Days Gone, which is free for PS4 users. I am in the. I think Days Gone's a really good game. I think it's underrated. It's a very long game, but it's a good game. But it's already free on PS5, so this is one of the ones I'm like, well, what's the point? I get it. It's for PS4 users, but at the same time, you're not really selling the PS5 if you're selling games that are already free on the PS5. So
yeah, a bit counterproductive. But
yeah, so there's that, and the final one is Zombie Army 4 Dead War. The Zombie Army games are typically like co-op multiplayer games. They're spin-offs of the Sniper Elite games, I believe, and they just more co-op orientated versions of those games, featuring zombies. So yeah, that one I'm interested to see. That one we can get the boys on. But yeah, those are the games for PlayStation Plus this month, along with the Play at Home games, which most of them should be out now or available now. I don't know about Horizon. Horizon might be later in the month, but the other ones are definitely available if you have or have not played them. So yeah, we shall move on, and I think
hang on.
Oh, you've got another bit.
Well, it's kind of related. It's not exactly video games, but it's related because it's Pokemon related. So, just that this week we've had the official release of the next set for the TCG, which is named Chilling Reign. It's based on Japanese sets Matchless Fighters and it's something like Ice Lance Rider and Ghost Lance Rider, I believe, is what they were called. I'm about to tell you in a second. If I can find it. Oh, sorry, it's Silver Lance and Jet Black Poltergeist, based on the legendaries from the Crown Tundra expansion. It's got over 190 cards, and a lot of them being from Galar, with the Pokemon introduced for the Crown Tundra, as I said, including the new version of the 3 birds. They will have their own V and VMAX forms and alternate arts, which are amazing looking. So there's 15 V Pokemon, 8 VMAX, and they follow on from the last set with the Single Strike and Rapid Strike cards. And it's due to be released on June the 18th. And as it's a full set, you get the pre-release kits. They're coming out, quite hard to get. You'll get full booster boxes, packs, elite trainer boxes. So usual things you were to get. It's not one of the small holiday ones. You do actually thankfully get booster boxes.
Nice.
So just depending on what the supply issue is like come June, whether they've improved by then, or
if you are a TCG fan, that is something to look out for.
Yeah, they have released some of the artworks, or the artwork for the V and the VMAX of the 2 horses, the legendary with Calyrex on them. But they are what the Japanese ones are. So if the artwork's going to follow the Japanese sets, so if you want to see what they are, look for the artworks from Silver Lance and Jet Black Poltergeist, and for Matchless Fighters, because and they are great looking.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we did have issues with what were they called?
He's thinking. He's wondering.
I can't think what the name is. Whatever the last set was, I can't think off the top of my head.
Is it like Shining Fates?
Battle Styles.
No,
Battle Styles. Yeah, they still had the issues with getting the cards into the country with allocations. So I'm not sure if that'll be the case here again. I know a lot of places will be holding off on pre-orders because they don't know what they can get. So it's just gonna be a case of looking out for when they become available.
Okay, fair enough. Is that all? Is that all we got there? Nice.
Now it's all
bit of sport. It's time for a bit of sport. We'll get off. We'll start with the wrestling news and we'll go up from there. Rob Van Dam has been confirmed for the WWE Hall of Fame. It was basically confirmed before, I think Sabu accidentally outed him on the podcast saying that he was going in. but now it's been confirmed by WWE and Fox Sports. So yeah, that's happening. And also a shock one: William Shatner is being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. So any Star Trek fans out there, there you go. He's going to be probably involved in a video of some sorts. I don't think he'll be there in person, but I don't exactly know what they're doing for it. I think some are going to be video forms, some are going to be there and actually giving a speech. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Aguero.
Oh, we're talking about combat. I was going to say while we're on combat sports, we just quickly mention that we had the
leave everyone on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, we will.
With the
I mean, I know what's coming if I heard the name from you before, but I had a press conference for the much anticipated Jake Paul versus Ben Askren fight.
Oh
the
god,
next
I wish we'd just continued on
of YouTube boxing.
Get Big Gibber in that other boxing event that they're doing. The YouTubers versus TikTok.
If you want. Yeah, we can talk about that. Basically, Ben Askren decided he was going to put his hand in Jake Paul's face. Jake Paul did not like it. Decided he was going to attempt to go for like a kidney punch.
He spanked his ass. He just touched. Yeah, he just lightly tapped his ass
and slapped him instead. Ben Askren didn't even flinch, so that was quite funny. That fight coming up, I think, the middle of this month, I believe.
Come on, Askren. Come on, Askren.
So that'll be interesting to see. And yeah, as you.
I don't know what's going to happen.
It's later in the year, but it was announced this YouTuber versus TikTok star boxing event.
There's too many of these.
They're pushing this again. Where Big Gibber, Nissan Gibber is trying to get in, putting videos out to try and get in the fights. So, but that's not till like June time, I think. So yeah, still a lot to be cleared up with that, and if it's actually going to go ahead, and yeah, what that's going to be like. Probably a mess.
One of the bigger names on there in terms of YouTube stars in the UK is Deji. Big boy Deji. Back on the boxing grind. To be fair, as divisive,
got Bryce Hall as well. Yeah, you got TikTok Bryce side. Quite a big name for the American fans out there.
As divisive as Deji is, his fight against Jake Paul was very unlucky for him, and I think with a bit more training and focus, he could have actually won that fight. But
it'll be interesting to see how much he has been focusing and training recently. Like how much he has improved, if he has improved at all.
Yeah,
which would be interesting if anyone that is interested in that and was following it.
Yeah, we will also get on to something a little more interesting, I guess, which is Aguero will be leaving Manchester City at the end of this season. Wow, what an I wouldn't say it's unexpected.
Please insert Manchester City versus QPR moment. Just screaming Aguero.
I'm not doing that.
You're a disgrace. Exactly, you're a disgrace.
I'm not doing that.
You're not helping. You're literally backing up my point. You're a disgrace by supporting that team.
Anyway, yeah, Aguero will be leaving City. I don't think we know much about the circumstances. I think he's just going to leave.
But it's the end of his contract. So
yeah, but I don't know.
Not renewing.
If we know what he's going to do afterwards, whether he's going back home, whether he's going somewhere else in England, whether he'll go to a big team, whether we don't know.
But he's 32. He still has a few more years in him, I should think. But
I can see him in the MLS. I genuinely can see it. Like go over to New York or something.
Well, I think he could. It could be that David Beckham was able to convince him because he's had quite a few bigger names go to him into Miami. So that could be a place where he goes. Wouldn't surprise me if he did, if I'm honest. So.
Yeah, and speaking of America, the NFL has finally been confirmed to move to a 17-game regular season.
You're really bad at segues.
That was a good segue. What was wrong with?
We literally have 2 more bits of football news, and you're taking it away from.
Where do we have football news? I didn't know we had football. Okay. Anyway, let's finish this. The NFL is moving to a 17-game regular season.
Imagine if
starting for shut the fuck up, Sean. Starting from 2021, so this season, they've already announced who each team will be facing. I don't obviously know that. Go and check your own team if you support a team. and see who they're facing for that. But back to normal football. We'll break it up, Sean. Go ahead.
Yes, a good segue. What could have worked if Jimmy didn't fuck it up would be that if Aguero does go to MLS, he won't get to feature in the new Champions League format that's been announced, and they'll be deciding on the 19th of April, which is to extend the competition from 32 teams to 36 teams, with space for 2 wild card entries. It sounds exciting for a start until you realise that it's just a way to ensure that the big teams stay in the competition if they do shit.
You know what? The NFL segue works if we're talking about wildcard entries now, considering how the Super Bowl works. So, I'm saying...
No, it would have worked the other way around.
But it doesn't matter, but we've led into this conversation now, so it's fine.
Anyway, you fucked it.
Do you want to cry some more, Sean?
Yeah.
Those tears.
But yeah, so basically these 2 wildcard entries will be they're reserved for the clubs with the highest UEFA coefficient who haven't already qualified. So the easiest way to understand it is that if it was coming into effect for next season, with this season being the qualifiers, Liverpool would qualify for a position in the Champions League despite being 7th in the Premier League, because they have one of the highest UEFA coefficients, and all of the teams with higher ones are already qualifying. Basically, it's just a way to ensure that the big teams, if they have a shit season like Liverpool are having this year, that they don't have to work their way back into the Champions League. They're still there, and if it is a one-off thing, then they'll qualify again next year and they'll be fine.
It'd actually be interesting to see that list, all of the top coefficients in Europe.
It's easy to see because they use it to sort out the draws in the group stage. Because that's how they decide who goes into which pot. They'd also change the group stage. It's a really weird format. That it'll be a 10-match first phase where I don't know how they'll work it out, if I'm honest. But instead of your usual groups, basically each team will play 10 matches against opponents varying in strength. Some they'll use the coefficient for that they'll have like 2 in the top, 2 in the next, whatever. And then the results will form an overall league table. And then from there, the highest 8 positions will move on to a knockout phase. With those from 9th to 24th going into a playoff round.
People are going to hate this.
For me, if you're going to have that many people, I don't get it. What? Obviously, it means there's more games, which is what they're obviously the teams and UEFA are thinking.
Champions
more
League.
Money. But, yeah, more money. And I think they're trying to sell it off with these whole, we're expanding it to 36 teams to go, we're incorporating more teams. But in effect, they're not, because the teams they're going to include, well, 2 of them at least, are going to be teams that would usually be in the competition anyway, because they're going to be the wildcard ones. It does actually cause an issue for English football if this goes ahead, which it looks like it's going to. Because of these extra games with the new format, it basically puts a question on the League Cup, the Carabao Cup, whatever you want to call it, for English teams, because the extra, like the weeks they'd need the games for these extra fixtures are when they'd usually have EFL Cup games. So it depends if they do vote on it, what happens there. Personally, for me, it's an easy decision, whereas the teams that are in Europe don't compete in the competition. So the teams won't like that, because especially teams like Man City who win this trophy quite often, it's another trophy for them, and they won't want to miss out on the chance of another trophy. But I think it would do a lot for lower league teams. They'll get a chance to go further in the competition, have a better chance of winning something, and although obviously they won't be playing against the top teams, it'll probably help them improve, because they'll get to play or have more chance of playing the lower Premier League teams and actually having a decent match. But yeah, at the moment we don't know what's going to happen. They could just scrap it all together. I think they should do the rule of taking the European qualifiers out, but how that happens, who knows? They may have to change the scheduling so that they move more of the EFL Cup fixtures earlier in the season, or maybe don't know if they can fit them in later. I'm not sure, like between the gaps between the Champions League knockout stages. I don't know, but it'd be a lot to figure out, and it's only going to cause more problems, I think, because managers and teams are already moaning about they have such a congested fixture list.
Yeah.
That they're now adding more games. It's always, and it's the top teams that are moaning because they're the ones who play more games for being in Europe and everything. It's people like Mourinho did with Tottenham when they had to qualify because they had extra games then, they had to play on the Tuesday and the Thursday of the same week. Obviously, Klopp has said it in the past about fixture congestion. I believe Guardiola probably has. All of the managers probably have at some point. And yeah, they're just adding more games, which, as we've seen this season, when you condense the season and have games more frequently, you have more injuries and more issues with the players. So that's just going to be more of an issue. So I don't know why. I know why they're doing it. It's for money reasons. And
you didn't have to ask that second part.
Yeah, it's clearly so the teams can earn more money, buy more games, more ticket sales, blah blah, and so to cement themselves. But it seems like a stupid decision, but it does look like it's gonna go ahead. From what people are saying, it looks like that they're gonna vote for it. So,
to be fair, this could have been a main topic, the amount we talked about it, and we could talk more about it. But we've already picked our main topics, so oh well. Any more football news?
Yeah, we just had the horrific rebranding of Inter Milan this week. We did mention them a few weeks ago because their owners had recently just pulled out of the Chinese league. They had I can't remember what the team was called.
Don't remember either, but they were the champions.
They were the champions last season. The owners are pulled out. The team no longer exists, and they also own Inter Milan. They, I think, 2 weeks ago, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, they'd announced that they were no longer having Pirelli as their sponsor. So that was a big change for them. They've been with them for like 20 plus years, and then this week they revealed their new logo, which is horrific.
I'll probably put it on the screen if I can.
Yeah.
But it's not
basically
good.
It's like a lot of logos that when we see they've done a Juventus they've massively simplified the logo. It's literally just I believe a blue and black. Oh, sorry, blue and white with a black outline, just an I and an M with some circles. They've got rid of the gold.
The thing is, I don't hate it, but it's not good. I think that's a good way to describe it.
But it's happening.
That old one was better.
Badges where they're losing their personality, sort of thing. They're all becoming this very basic logo of just letters.
I can't wait until we all evolve to the point where every logo is in Comic Sans or something.
Yeah, like we saw it the other week with the Spanish FA changed theirs as well. So it's just a circle with 4 letters in it, and it looks like a pharmaceutical company's logo or something like that. It's just, there's nothing to it, and it's a shame because teams are getting rid of these classic and really nice old badges. I understand that obviously the badges and kits and stuff of teams have always changed. They've always been evolving and had variations to them. But it just seems they go in the wrong direction with them. They have these previous badges that look so nice and they have this personality of what the team is. Whereas the badge they've turned to, you could replace the I and the M for any 2 letters and it would fit any team. Whereas if you were to make like the previous badge, you couldn't fit it around any team.
Badge is. If you see that badge, you're like, that's Inter Milan's badge. If you see the new one, that you're like, that's
now it could be anyone.
That's Young Boys.
Yeah, it could be any team that has those 2 letters. It could be Inter Miami for all we know. there's just nothing to it that's now screams Inter Milan.
When
Obviously,
Inter Miami has a better badge than fucking Inter Milan.
It will get to the point where obviously that's just the normal and it's what you use. Like, it will change, so it'd have been the badge for that long. You recognise it as, oh, that's the Inter Milan badge, and obviously younger fans growing up, this is the only badge they'll know, so they'll just know it as that. But I just hate it, and more teams seem to be going that way of adopting these badges, and it's crap. Basically,
that's why you need to get yourself such a good badge. I can't even point it to it. There it is, that one right there.
It's alright, you'll change soon.
I don't think we will.
A red M.
An M and a U. And
no,
then it will just.
A U, just an M.
And we'll get a red M, City will get a blue M. You'll just be like, oh, that's Manchester Red and Manchester Blue.
All the teams will turn into Pez teams.
That's what I was going to say.
It looks like a Pez logo, that is it.
Oh, look, it's London Blue. I love London Blue.
It is a Pro Evolution Soccer logo. That's the best way to describe it. It looks like a knockoff Inter Milan logo.
That is genuinely
the actual rights for it.
When FIFA lost the rights to Juventus, and now it's Pimento.
Yeah. Pimento.
This is what Inter
their badge anyway. But
yeah.
Into just two J's, but
that's funny. But that is all of our sport, I believe.
No, it's not.
I thought you only had 2 sport news. Oh, go.
I said I had football.
Okay, all right, continue on.
Football.
Go. I'm just gonna stop talking. Just go.
Yeah, you should.
Just sit here.
Just listen to what I say before.
I have a list. Okay, we just want to establish, because I have to host the podcast. I have my own list of topics, so I don't remember every. Excuse me.
We co-host.
Nah, you're nothing without me. Just read your thing. This is going to turn into a war.
Any of you that follows on Twitter will know that I've written some articles recently because Formula 1 is back. The weekend we had the Bahrain Grand Prix. I'll be quick with it. I won't bore you for half an hour like Jimmy does with the wrestling.
You can do You can do an F1 topic if you want. I'm just saying.
I'm not you. Basically, it looked like it shaped up to be a great weekend. Yeah, Red Bull looked really quick. The new changes seem to benefit high rate cars. I went into it in the article that I wrote. If you haven't read it, go on Twitter, it's there. Go on the website, it's there. Read it. Basically, cars like the Red Bull, the AlphaTauri, they have their car set up so the back of their car is very high off the ground and the front's low, whereas cars like Mercedes and Aston Martin, they have their car quite level and low to the ground. Where Aston Martin were claiming that apparently the low rate cars were losing about a second a lap because of the new regulations that came in. It meant that Verstappen was able to take his first back-to-back pole positions of his career, obviously getting the last one of the season in Abu Dhabi and in Bahrain. And then it effectively became a game of chicken during the race on pit strategies of Mercedes and Red Bull trying to anticipate when the other team was going to pit, because at Bahrain the undercut, so pitting first is the preferred strategy. It's really useful. You can gain a lot from it. So it ended up that Mercedes decided to pit Hamilton extremely early on a set of hard tyres because they thought Red Bull were going to bring Verstappen in. They didn't in the end, kept Verstappen out, which then meant it was ridiculously close on what was going to happen, because although Verstappen lost a lot of time from Mercedes doing an undercut, it then meant that Hamilton was ending the race on a set of very worn tyres. So the race ended up being 56 laps long. They cut one off because they had to do an extra formation lap. And on the 53rd lap, Verstappen was able to get past Hamilton to take the lead. And that's where the issues came in with track limits. Verstappen went off the track around the outside to overtake Hamilton, or he came off the track during the manoeuvre, well, the whole way round, and had to give the place back. Giving the place back, he dirtied his tyres, couldn't get back past him. Basically, the controversy came in because the FIA, for some unbeknown reason, decided that during qualifying, the track limits were strict. If all four wheels left the track, your time was deleted immediately, no questions asked. But for the race, they turned around and said there were no track limits, but they would monitor it through the session, which basically meant that Hamilton spent about 30 laps going off track, quite wide. Other drivers did it too, but not to the extent Hamilton was, so they were just over the line. Hamilton was drifting really wide. It meant he could carry more speed with the corner until about 30 laps in, where he was then told that he had to stop doing it. He obviously, in typical fashion, moaned, going, "I've done it all race," but they did threaten him with a penalty if he carried on. And then Verstappen overtook with that move to keep things short. You can't do it. The problem came
1
because
second.
the
1
FA
second.
Yeah.
Go back about 5 seconds and then start again. You completely froze.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just love Discord. We just love Discord.
Works so well. Yes, so it was an illegal move. I've no issue with that. The problem was because there seemed to be a lack of consistency with how the stewards and the FA were dealing with the track limits. And basically, I don't know why they find it so difficult, because you either turn around and say that track limits are strict and you can't do it, but it's so simple to just turn around and go, okay, before the race, go, okay, like they do in the games. Weirdly, the games have it set out really well, and they don't implement it in real life, and I don't know why. In the game, if you abuse a track limit three times, you get issued a time penalty. So I don't know why they don't do that in the races, where they say to drivers beforehand, track limits are this, all 4 wheels over the white lines. It's you've obviously broken the rules. If you do it for 3 times in a single session or in the race, you'll get a penalty. In qualifying, you delete the lap time like they normally would, and in the race, you do that. At least then there's something tangible that
video games innovate the real life world. They make us better.
But it's just something tangible that people can look out for to go, they've done it 3 times, there you go, that's a penalty. And so everybody before the race is clear on exactly what's happening, and so they don't just change the rules halfway through the race to go, okay, you can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Because
at the end of the day, it was a bit ridiculous what some of the drivers were doing, of how much wider in the corner they were going. We see it at different tracks throughout the year where they're able to do it. And so there's a bit of controversy around that, but Hamilton did take victory, first race of the season. But it looks like it's going to be a very interesting season, because Red Bull do seem to have the faster car on pure pace.
Which is a surprise, which is actually a surprise.
Yeah. On pure pace in qualifying, obviously Verstappen was a lot quicker, Perez not so much, but he'll be getting used to a new car. But it does look like we might actually have a championship fight for once. It might not be straightforward of Hamilton winning it. Verstappen could actually give him a run for his money, and you'll love to see it. They can actually make the season interesting. It also McLaren performed really well over the weekend as well. Some great pace, so I'll be interested to see if they're able to keep that up, especially with Ricciardo getting more used to the car. He also apparently had some floor damage after an incident early on, which was slowing him down. So if he's at full pace, that'll be good. And Ferrari seem to have some pace back as well, which is interesting. Charles Leclerc actually having some pace for once, which Ferrari have missed since they controversially had maybe an illegal engine that was never really punished for. And they all of a sudden slowed down massively after these... what was it? It was like they basically reiterated the rules on engines, and all of a sudden they slowed down, but never got punished for it. But Ferrari seemed to be back with some pace. And so
meanwhile, Haas is still stuck in reverse, so they're not doing anything.
Yeah, both drivers spinning within the first 4 laps, I think it was. One of them, Mazepin.
I'm really proud of that one, actually.
He lasted 2 corners before.
I was going to make a really bad joke, but I can't make it, so we're just going to move on from that one.
Okay, but he is. He also caused a problem in qualifying with spinning as well, so he has now adopted the nickname Mazaspin, which is quite good. But Schumacher did also. He spun out during the race, but was able to recover it and carry on. But it does look like the Haas is quite undrivable. It does not.
It's quite a hassle.
Although there are some questions over the driving ability of Mazepin.
Not just the driving ability, but yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, not staying away from anything off track. We've mentioned that before. It doesn't need to be said again. It does appear that the Haas is just they're not having a good time with their car. They're having problems. It is undrivable. So I definitely feel sorry for Schumacher because he's clearly got talent. He won F2 last year, but he's not going to be able to show it this year because the car is useless. It's absolutely useless.
Well, that is Formula One TV and movie time, Sean, and I'm going to let you continue on talking. And
why
wherever
me?
you, just because, no particular reason.
Okay, what should I start with? You put me on the spot now, and I weren't prepared.
Okay, go.
Yeah. We've got Russell Crowe has been announced as joining Thor: Love and Thunder. I think it was kind of by accident. I don't think they were really planning to, but he had been spotted with all the cast out with the cast members. So yeah, it has been announced that he'll be joining the cast of Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't believe we know who he'll be playing yet, what sort of role.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait for that. We'll probably get some.
He's defecting.
But now that they've said that he's in it, we'll probably find out soon enough who will be joining. So
he will not be playing Jor-El. We know that because that's how he played in Man of Steel. But yeah, we have that piece of news. We also have George R.R. Martin signing a 5-year deal, TV deal with HBO. I assume to develop the multiple Game of Thrones prequel series that are around.
I don't think they are. I don't think it is.
We don't know what it is about, but he has signed a 5-year deal. I'd be surprised if he wasn't involved in that. That'd be really
apparently is adaptations of Nnedi Okorafor's award-winning 2011 post-apocalyptic novel Who Fears Death and Roger Zelazny's 1979 fantasy novel Road Marks under his control in a few projects outside of HBO Max. It certainly means that sorry, that's not what he's doing. Is that he's already doing those.
Yeah, okay.
I was reading it properly.
I was like, oh, okay, all right. Maybe I'm completely okay.
No, he's already doing that. Apparently, Jesus Christ, he does a lot.
He does.
Why can't he just write fucking books?
Jesus Christ. The book was supposed to come out 4 years ago. I'm pretty sure.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
He's generally going to die before finishing those books.
We don't advocate that, but it might happen.
I mean, he's not young.
No, but genuinely, he hasn't even
enough time to write them. So
I assume he's writing both the final books, and not just because there's 2 more that's supposed to come out.
Yeah,
there's Winds of Winter and there's something else. I think I don't remember.
Winds of Winter is the next one. Yeah.
The last one's called Summer something.
I think it might be a Dream of Spring.
A Dream of Spring. I knew it was a song season.
It's a Dream of Spring. Yeah.
Okay, well, that is something else as well. We also have news regarding Star Wars, the Star Wars universe, namely the Obi-Wan Kenobi series that will be coming to Disney Plus in the near future. And that includes a list of who's going to be in the cast, which I have right here. We have Ewan McGregor returning as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that was a thing. Jesus.
Hayden Christensen also returning as Anakin Skywalker, and he will, I think it's been 100% confirmed that he will be in the suit for Darth Vader as well, and doing, I don't know if he'll do the voice, but he'll definitely be a part of that.
I imagine he won't do the voice. It'd be very difficult to keep it in line canon of him doing the voice, because I don't know what his James Earl Jones impression is like, but I can't imagine it's that good.
Yeah. Fair enough. So, Moses Ingram. I don't know the roles of these people. It's just I don't think anyone knows the roles. But the other two were obvious. Joel Edgerton, Bonnie P.S. Kumail Gianni. I can't speak. Jesus. Indira Varma. Nanjiani. I can't. I stuttered. It's fine. Rupert Friend, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Sung Kang, Simone Kessel, and Benny Safdie. They have been the entire cast announced.
It's a high quality cast. It
is a very high quality cast.
There is great.
Yeah. But yeah, we don't know much else. There will be flashback scenes, which is why Hayden Christensen is there.
Yeah.
But he will also be Darth Vader in, obvious.
Although I doubt we'll see much of Darth Vader, if I'm honest.
I think they did confirm that there will be at least a confrontation with him and Obi-Wan.
I imagine there'll probably be like one scene, maybe right at the end, sort of thing. But I don't think
they wouldn't have announced it if it was just one scene.
I don't think there'll be a lot though.
Maybe I'm not going to speculate. I'll just see. Some other big news to do with the sort of pop culture is DC movies. There has been a confirmed list of the announced release dates for these movies that are coming. One of the biggest ones is Black Adam, but I'll get to them in the order they're coming out. But Black Adam was talked about a lot through Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, on Twitter. He was promoting it heavily. And I think he announced that not announced, but said he wanted to do a lot more in the DC universe afterwards, which you might see Black Adam show up more. Who knows? Depends what happens in the Flash movie, because I feel like they're going to reset a lot of things with that. If they don't continue on with the Zack Snyderverse. But we will see. But to do with our final topic as well, the Suicide Squad, the release date has been confirmed for August 6th of this year, 2021. Interesting, good release, summer release. Depending on what happens with COVID, we might see cinemas start to open up around that time if we're, optimistic. But I believe it will be available on HBO as well. So, and probably Sky in the UK. So there's that. The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, will be released on March 4th, 2022. I believe it was meant to come out at the end of this year, but has been delayed for obvious reasons. I'm really excited for this personally. As much as I'd like to see another Ben Affleck movie, or the rumoured Ben Affleck Deathstroke movie that we were supposed to get and never did, I'm happy to see this interpretation of Batman, and I hope they go further with it. I know it's supposed to be a trilogy as well. Matt Reeves was signed on for a trilogy. He's a brilliant director who knows how to film a trilogy. Did the Planet of the Apes trilogy, the newer one. So I have full faith in him to create a good Batman universe, and I hope he uses more characters from that universe. I want to actually see a good Robin or Nightwing or something on TV, not TV, on movie, rather than he's just dead in everything else. And we get to Black Adam, July 29th, 2022 is the release date. I think we talked about the cast that was announced a few weeks ago. There's a lot of characters on there, I think Hawkman is coming, Atom Smasher. There's a bunch on there. I don't exactly remember what. Dr. Fate was confirmed, I believe, last week, which we did mention, played by Pierce Brosnan. So that will also be interesting. The Flash has been confirmed for a November 4th, 2022 release date. Of course, all these dates could change. The movie industry works on their time. So, but the Flash movie is still in production. Will star a ton of people. Michael Keaton coming back as Batman from the old movies. There might be a few surprises in there as well, but it will probably adapt a storyline similar to the Flashpoint storyline. And anyone who's familiar with that, because it's been in every Flash medium ever, it will probably reset the movie universe a little bit. if they decide to go that route. There's Aquaman 2. This is a long list. December 16th, 2022. Not much is known about that, but it'll probably be, as expected, a continuation of the storyline from Aquaman 1. Probably feature Black Manta again, since we never really got a final confrontation between the two. And finally, out of the announced movies, Shazam! Fury of the Gods will be released on June 2nd, 2023. So that will cap off this list of release dates that have been announced. Not much else to say on that topic. Have we got anything else, TV and movie wise, on your end?
I think let's just go into Suicide Squad.
Oh no! One more thing. I just realised I had it written at the bottom of my list. Star Wars: The Bad Batch will have a 70-minute season premiere.
I was going to call you out on a bad segue again, but I thought I'd let you.
I forgot about it. It's fine. It wasn't really a bad segue. It's just I completely forgot it existed. But yeah, it will have a 70-minute season premiere on May 4th when it releases. There's a trailer online if you want to go and watch it. Go ahead right now. If you're excited, The Bad Batch follows on from the final season of Clone Wars, which featured the Bad Batch. Yeah. On to Suicide Squad, or should we do Lil Nas X first, or Suicide Squad? I think we'll do Lil Nas X because we'll end it with Suicide Squad.
Just because we're going to do music, did you want to talk about the Brit Award nominees quickly?
Yeah, you can run through them, yeah.
Yeah, so we got those yesterday, so just quickly run through the actual shows or the award ceremonies in the 11th of May, so it's a little while off. But best album, we have Arlo Parks, Collapse and Sunbeams, Celeste, Not Your Muse, Dua Lipa, Future Nostalgia, J Hus, Big Conspiracy, Jessie Ware, What's Your Pleasure. Best British Female, Arlo Parks, Celeste, Dua Lipa, Jessie Ware, Leanne LaHarvis. Best British Male, AJ Tracy, Headie One, J Hus, Joel Corey,
Live and direct. Sorry.
Best British Group, Bicep, Biffy Clyro, Little Mix, 1975, Young T and Bugsy.
1975.
Breakthrough Artist
this year.
I don't know.
Yeah, a weird one. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Breakthrough Artist, Arlo Parks, Bicep, Celeste, Joel Corey, Young T and Bugsy. Best British Single, 220 Kid and Gracie, Don't Need Love. H and AJ Tracy featuring Ty Keith, Rain, Dua Lipa Physical, Harry Styles, Watermelon Sugar. Headie One featuring AJ Tracy and Stormzy, Ain't It Different. Joel Corey featuring MNEK, Head and Heart. Nathan Dorr featuring KSI, Lighter.
Come on, boys.
Regard with Ray, Secrets. Simba featuring DTG, Rover. Young T and Bugsy featuring Headie One, Don't Rush. International Female, Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish, Cardi B, Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift. International Male, Bruce Springsteen. Why the fuck is on there? I have no idea.
Has he brought out an album or something? Or
must have. Not that I know
looking this up.
Burna Boy, Childish Gambino, Tame Impala, and The Weeknd. International Group, BTS. God help Twitter if they win.
They have to win. They have to win, or else Twitter is over. There will be hashtag Twitter is over.
Either way, Twitter is over. Foo Fighters, Haim, Run the Jewels, and Rising Star. There's already been announced as the winner, I think, by the look of it, which is Griff, and there's also, because there's winner next to it, so it looks like it's already been decided.
No idea.
Also on there was Pei Salyu and Rina Sawayama.
The way you
so 11th of May, Brit Awards.
Okay. Alright. Now let's go lap dance on the
It's going to be live as well. They're actually going to have live performances, so
nice.
It'll be the first one at the O2 in a long time.
Let's move on to awards, to Twitter outrage and lap dancing with the devil. So, Lil Nas X released Montero, Call Me By Your Name. Montero is his actual name, which is the name of the song, coincidentally. But the song features, it's quite a kind of a story of his sexuality and all the hate he gets just for being gay, and the fact that he's just saying, fuck it, you know. If I want to go, if I'm going down to hell, I'm doing it in style, you know. And I actually really like the song. I think the song's great. I really like the music video as well, just because it's so ballsy and so like the controversy it caused is fantastic, and it shouldn't have been as controversial as it is. But we live in a society, as the Joker says. So, as the famous quote goes, we do live in a society. So,
but it's also been great because you can find out if you're friends with any homophobes out there. Great way to out them. So,
but it's just genuinely, he is such a smart individual for this video, and the fact that it gets as much outrage shows that it's working, shows that it's highlighting the problems with society and people. It's just ridiculous, but at the same time, it's just so good. I really respect the work he does, despite there are a few things people say about him online that could be controversial, but as a person, I'm sure he's matured, and there's no need for there's probably things that everyone said online that a few years ago they maybe had a different opinion on, or were just too stubborn. But I think now he's coming to his own. He's as big as he is. He can't be labelled as a one-hit wonder. No, he's had good stuff. Old Town Road is a classic. It's so good. Panini's a great song, and you got this as well. He's got another good song, but I forgot the name. I don't really want to say.
You've forgotten
it. Yeah. But he can't be called a one-hit wonder like people are trying to make out. It's a great song, and you don't have to like it. I mean, it might not be for everyone. Yeah, there has been controversy online because he promoted the Satan blood or human blood shoes, and I think there was a Nike lawsuit in the works about it, which is a bit weird because I get it, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure it's very legal to customize shoes once you've bought them and resell them. There's nothing illegal about it, and I get that they don't want their branding because it might be kids might think, but it's the law. So if the lawsuit sort of goes against Lil Nas X, or well, it's not him, it's the company that he was promoting, but if it goes against them, I'll be very shocked because they've just blatantly ignored their own laws surrounding that. That's a completely different topic entirely. I'll let you comment on anything you want to talk about in this video.
Yeah, I think it's just I can't believe so many people come out and going, I just don't get it. I really don't get
it. That's pretty much the reaction I get a lot of on Twitter. Something to talk about as well regarding Twitter. It is a cesspool of hate and ignorance and just people trying to cancel people left, right, and centre. KSI left Twitter recently as well, and his account is now run by his managing company, MGMT, I think they're called. But yeah, it's just ridiculous, and the hatred, this video, a lot of it stems from the shit he got from coming out when he came out as gay. The amount of crap he got from that, and everyone on Twitter saying you're going to hell, oh, you can't be gay, there's time to reset. Just let people love who they love. I don't give a fuck.
And this just seems to be a bit of an extension on that it's maybe the people that don't agree with that way of life, let's say that.
Yeah.
That seem to be the ones who are loudest at negative comments about this, which there's no reason for it. Well.
Yeah. Well, I guess, I mean, there's not much else we can say about it. We both I think we both enjoyed it. Personally, we're not offended by anything. We're in full
on Satan.
Honestly, great. His skills on that pole, fantastic. I applaud this man for the dancing skills that he has, and one day maybe no, okay. But we will move on to something I was going to say lighter, but I mean, it's not. I mean, it was a Red Band trailer,
mean,
so.
So the name of it's literally Suicide,
Yeah.
so it's not quite
Um.
light, but it is a light-hearted take.
Yeah, the Suicide Squad trailer, James Gunn's Suicide Squad, has been released. Not the movie, the trailer, obviously. And before we get into the trailer, you know, everything with the Snyder Cut. Before the Snyder Cut came out, way before, there was you remember the old Suicide Squad? David Ayer had the same problem Zack Snyder did. Not the same problem, but the fact that the studio interfered and completely ruined his cut. Now people are calling for the Ayer cut of the old Suicide Squad, which I would actually be if it's anything like Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm all for it. Bring it in. I thought Justice League was like incredible, one of the best superhero movies ever. This one, not the first one, but anyway, we'll move on
If
to.
you didn't go back to our last episode, you could hear Jimmy talk about it.
Yeah, I think it was the episode before.
Might have been, who knows?
Yeah,
probably.
Go back and watch both, just in case.
Yeah, just go and watch all of them.
Watch all of them because there might be something you like. You don't know. You don't know.
You might like WWE.
You might like it, yeah. I don't know. I haven't checked the views on the last video, but I'm not confident. But yeah, the trailer itself, as a comic book fan myself, as I've stated multiple times, I'm very excited for this. Features a ton of characters that are very like Z-list. You know, no one knows who Polka Dot Man is. No one knows like Weasel or
unless you're a hardcore comic book fan.
I don't even know if hardcore comic book fans know much about him, to be honest.
But at the end of the day, it's a trailer that had bright orange Crocs. Sorry, Jesus
Christ. Oh, Sean.
No, it's coming on to a later bit. It is involved. I promise you. It had bright orange Crocs. It had a man as a shark. It had
Sylvester. It had Sylvester Stallone as a shark. I can't speak. Jesus.
Yeah. And it had John Cena talking about eating dicks. See, cops do come into it just later on.
John Cena plays Peacemaker in this movie, and he will be getting a spin-off show. That doesn't mean he's safe. He could die in this movie, and it could be a prequel. But he will have his own spin-off show, which I'm very interested to see.
The people involved with the film have kind of alluded to the fact that nobody is safe in this film, sort of thing. Because they are a Suicide Squad, so
part of James Gunn's contract was that he was allowed to kill off anyone he wanted. The only one that is safe for me is Harley Quinn. They're not killing off Harley Quinn. She's the main character, and she's an important part of movies going forward, movies in the past, and everything in between. But yeah, like. It was a great trailer. I really enjoyed it. I thought the humor was great compared to the past trailer. I thought not that we saw a lot. It was a first trailer. Second trailer technically, but it was the first actual trailer that wasn't a sort of preview like the one that we got at the DC Fandom a few months back. But yeah, they fully confirmed that the main villain is Starro, who is a giant starfish.
So that's what I missed off about the whole thing that the trailer had. Giant starfish. But Starro is actually a very big character. He was the first in the comics, the first villain that the Justice League actually ever went up against. That's what got the Justice League together originally. And the character itself is an alien who basically has like telepathic powers, so he can mind control people. So yeah, great choice of villain in this movie. You know, it's quite a goofy villain for a goofy movie that's also really violent. We saw King Shark eat someone, tear someone in half. King Shark's been getting the love recently. He's I haven't seen it, but the Harley Quinn animated series, he's been getting a lot of love on from that. There's the Suicide Squad game that's going to come out, and guess who plays King Shark in that? Samoa Joe.
from WWE.
Let's
What
let's
a
just hope
campaign.
that. I was about to say, let's just hope this Suicide Squad game doesn't end up like the Avengers game. Please,
It won't.
may
It
it
won't.
not
It
be
won't.
the
It won't.
same as that.
No, no.
'Cause that would be a
It's gonna
nightmare.
be kind of Arkham Asylum ish. Well, Arkham Knight ish. But co-op, I assume, just like Gotham Knights is. But yeah, great trailer. There's just so much in it, but at the same time, there's not enough, which is good, which is what you want from a trailer.
Yeah.
Like we kind of get
So
that they're
I think it's
going.
good because like you can't tell like exactly the storyline from the trailer. Like sometimes in trailers you can see like, oh, this is where the story's going, but in this it does. You can't quite piece together where each of the parts are going to be, which I quite like.
Yeah, I am going to make the assumption that, like, while I said Harley Quinn's not going to die, I don't think King Shark will die because I think he'll be a fan favorite. And even if they had him to die, I think James Gunn's going to be like, maybe I'm going to change my mind and quickly edit that out. You know, maybe they'll, if they do kill him off, it will be a death that he actually comes back from. They might film, but I think he'll be a fan favorite, so they won't kill him off. Idris Elba plays Bloodsport, I believe his name is. It might be Bloodsport. I don't remember what it is. But it's a character.
Something.
It's a character that has shown up in media before, and that would be in the Supergirl TV show. Obviously played by someone completely different and not as big as a role. Idris is kind of taking on Will Smith's role here because
Bloodsport.
Will Smith, yeah, Bloodsport, because Will Smith was supposed to return as Deadshot, but instead of recasting him because he couldn't because of scheduling issues or something, but instead of recasting the character, they just were like, we'll leave Deadshot there in case Will Smith wants to come back in the future, but we'll bring in Bloodsport and have Idris Elba play him. Peter Capaldi as the Thinker. Great look. I love Peter Capaldi. He's just such a great actor. Doctor Who. What was he in?
You should really think of more movie titles before you start trying to do a list, Jimmy.
I know. I remember what it's called, but I not what it's called, but I remember what he was in. It was where he was like, it's before Doctor Who, where he was swearing a lot. Like he it was just a really funny show, but I forgot what it's called. But I'm not going to look it up because I'll just continue talking. But
I'm attempting to,
but yeah, we've got Joel Kinnaman back as Rick Flag. Rick Flag is a major part of the Suicide Squad, so it's not surprising that he is back. Whether he dies in this, I don't think so, because he is kind of a mainstay, but James Gunn is in charge, so anything can happen. Viola Davis is back as Amanda Waller. Great actress. She's great in the role. One of the highlights from the original Suicide Squad, along with Harley Quinn and Will Smith was, but he's obviously not in this movie. But yeah, it's just a fantastic cast for a hopefully fantastic movie from the horribly beautiful mind of James Gunn.
It looks like a more light-hearted version as well, doesn't it? Compared to the last one,
I feel like
more comedic.
The last one was much more grounded because Warner Brothers were like, okay, we want to keep it in tone with the other movies, and that was their downfall. I don't hate the first Suicide Squad. I have my problems with it. It had no story and a terrible villain, but I thought the characters themselves were great. And I'm a bit sad that a lot of them aren't coming back. Like, I would have liked to seen maybe Killer Croc or El Diablo. I think his name was El Diablo. Come back, especially Diablo, because he was one of the highlights from the original movie. But yeah, I James Gunn wanted what he wanted.
I think from the trailer you can also see that James Gunn is bringing a lot from Guardians of the Galaxy over to this. It's that same sort of feel. It's like it'll be that same sort of film.
Yeah.
So if they're anything to go by, then
I hope
it's a good sign.
Well, I personally hope it emulates Guardians of the Galaxy 1 rather than Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Definitely.
Because I do not like the second one, but I do like the first one. and I
I
feel
think
like
the
it
second
will.
one's all right, but I prefer the first one.
I will not give my opinion on the second one. Let's just say I don't rate it very highly. But yeah,
Everyone has their own opinion.
everyone does have their own opinion. And my opinion of this trailer was that it was great. But I also believe that with the original Suicide Squad trailers. So we shall see. But the cast in this is immense. They're taking more, like, I want to say liberties with the character. Like, they're just doing whatever they want with them. Like, all these characters could die. The movie could end and they're all dead. I don't expect that to happen, but a lot of them may be dead. So, yeah, which is something they didn't do in the original. Or is it just Slipknot died? I'm pretty sure. I don't remember anyone else
Can't think
dying
off
in
the
the
top of my
movie.
head.
Yeah,
So I
one more
don't really
person
remember any deaths.
back is Jai Courtney will be coming back as Captain Boomerang, who's also a pretty integral member in the Suicide Squad. So I don't expect him to die either, but who knows? But yeah, that is all for our podcast this week. Tell us your thoughts on the trailer, on Lil Nas X's music video, on any of the pieces of news in this. We want to hear from you, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on YouTube. But yeah, like, subscribe.
If you want to abuse us, send us abuse.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't care.
we
I'll take
abuse
it.
each other, as you can see from this. We don't really care. Yeah, go right ahead.
If you want to tell us we're shit, tell us we're shit.
We know.
But
Have
at
you
least
not
if you're
seen
gonna
my
tell us we're
camera
shit,
quality?
tell us what we can do better.
Exactly. But yeah, we love to hear from you. Follow us on Twitter as well as our YouTube channel, and we'll keep you up to date with any news that we see throughout the week. But unless we talk about it on the podcast, which you can catch every Friday on the Reverbium channel. In about a month's time, maybe a bit over a month, we will be in a different circumstance for a little bit of time. But we will still, hopefully, as long as there are no problems with internet connections, still be doing the podcast. I will just be in a different setting. You won't see the beautiful Manchester United shirt in the background.
Thank fuck we're getting rid of it. I'm gonna come and burn it while you're away.
Okay, try and break into my house. That's a bit odd.
Won't need to break in.
Won't need to break in. Okay, but yeah, we'll be in different circumstances. But I also don't know how the recording might go. I assume we'll probably still do it at the same time, but we'll keep you up to date whether we change our podcast dates. But at the moment, we're still on track to do everything the same. I just need to, have all my stuff with me. So yeah, we will see you next week. Next week will be normal as usual, as will the week after, and the week after that. So you won't have to worry about anything except for the fact that we've got Wrestling Ahoy in the next 2 weeks, Sean. Oh, Sean, you're gonna love it.
I forgot WrestleMania's coming up.
We're not gonna do. Well, the bad thing is, next week we have night 1 of NXT Takeover, but we can't do night 2 because we do the podcast before night 2 comes out. So the week after, we're gonna have to do night 2 and both nights of WrestleMania.
No, we're not. No,
so we've got more, Sean. But look at it this way. It's an easy main topic.
I think maybe, or we treat the people to 2 different episodes.
We can
do a pure wrestling one because it might take a while. I think it would depend on what else.
The problem when we make these pods, we'll explain it. I know we've said goodbye, but we'll explain it now. The problem when we do these podcasts is we try to get as much news as we can that we could talk about in this specific time, and sometimes it's hard to think of a main topic because we don't do it as in, well, we used to do it as in like just whatever we want, like what our favorite superhero movie is. Now we try to like maybe analyze a specific topic that's relevant to now, and it's hard to do it. Like last week we struggled to think of one, so we made WWE our main topic. But like it all depends. If we have not that much news, well, not next week, the week after is the one we really need to worry about. But if we don't have that much news, then we're just going to stick with the normal format. If we do, then we'll do a double recording, do a WrestleMania podcast, and we'll do a standard podcast as usual, which might be shorter because we'll get rid of all the wrestling. But we shall see. You will find that out in 2 weeks' time, but we will be back as normal next week. So yeah, have a nice everyone. Have a nice evening, day, week, however long. And follow us as usual on all of our social media platforms that you can find us on. Hasta la vista.